naka def
yow foo joxee
mbaa def la suma tool balaa wari woon
man de man faa tehi man
yaa ngi toog di daa dégg son
man faa tehi di man suma tool bi fa booy baaxatul
xanaa doo dee use engrais fertilizer
ndax man loolu yow bu wuti ko foofu faa tehi dem ca dépôt ba dafa wuti fa sori
gis nga mbayum léegi boo amul fertilizer du baax de engrais kenn jëndeetu ko ci def
boo ko jëlee ci dépôt foo koy amee
kay yaa ngi doog a ñëw xam nga Reliance banque bi ñuy wax Reliance
faa koy dégg waaw
kay gis nga boo demee Reliance ci boppam foofu ngay fayee saako yi nga bëgg nu mu toll nga fay ba pare ñu jox la sa receipt gis nga receipt boobu ñu lay jox moom ngay yóbbu nag ca dépôt ba
kon fu ne ko dem ci dépôt ba te yóbbu la kay doo ko am
déedéet
fu ne su ma jógoon su ma xaalis ba dem ci dépôt ba dama am
déedéet doo am foog nga dem Reliance fay ba pare
waaw
soo ko dem nag ak sa receipt ca dépôt ba waa Gambia Granite Corporation lii la ñu wax
yow fi ne fa nga jëm ni la
waaw fa laay dem bi
kon kay ni jàmm jox la nga jëndaaleel ma ay yow ma de fi di saako doon yàgg te dama ko xam
maa la ko wax de
boo xàggee jëndaaleel ma
mbokk yi nii lañ ko bëggee waa Gambia Granite Corporation ñu ne saako engrais $700 dong lay jar muy $200 rek yomb na lool daw leen Reliance bu leen gën a jege si PMS tam dañuy jaay comme ni ko Reliance di jaayee boo fa demee dinañ la jaay te engrais bii pour réew mi kese la bëgguñ mu génn réew mi
It's a warm welcome here in our studio in Sarakunda. This is Star TV News with me, Memina Jufadera. In the headlines tonight, former Gambia football veterans on Wednesday paid a courtesy visit to the president of the Gambia Football Federation. The Ministry of Agriculture donates farming equipment to farmers. Jigai Farm hopes to magnify farming and job opportunities. The Gaj company has paid $649,000 to the Gambia government as loyalty since its inception. The OIC Gambia Secretariat and Ministry of Transport and Works on Wednesday inaugurated an interim body charged with temporarily managing and operating the newly commissioned Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center in Bijilo. On the international scene, COVID-19 infection surge in 6 U.S. states. Beijing rises COVID-19 alert level after new outbreak. North Korea to redeploy troops near border amid tensions. Well, those were our headlines, and now the news in details. Former Gambia football veterans on Wednesday paid a courtesy visit to the president of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Kababajo, at the GFF Secretariat in Kanifing. Omar Job has more.
The veterans national team players were led to the football house by Abdoulaye Jallow Star on behalf of its president Alhaji Momodou Njai Biri. Speaking on behalf of the group, Star Jallow disclosed to the GFF boss that their visit was meant to cement a good relationship with the football leadership and to further abridge the football house in the current activities of the group. Mr. Jallow thanked President Bajo for the warm reception accorded to them despite the prompt notice. The former GFF first vice president said that their activities are in consonance with the development plan of GFF, though shall always be available to accompany the federation in its quest for football development. In receiving the former players, the GFF president Mr. Bajo thanked the veterans for the courtesy visit and described it as a monumental in the history of football administration in the Gambia. He said that the football veterans play a significant role in the promotion of football in the country, and such could not be divorced from the GFF development agenda. Mr. Bajo reiterated the football leadership commitment to the promotion and development of football in the Gambia, while renewing Football House undiluted support to the cause of veterans national team players. He added that the veteran players paved the way for the development of football in the Gambia. The delegation included former Gambian international Lion Dur, Ayo Job and Lamin Owens. Present was retired referee and ESCO member Alaji Faye. This followed the visit of a former Gambian international, Ibu Silla, who also made a similar visit to the Football House last week. The former Scorpion Ace also had fruitful discussion with the JFF boss on matters regarding football in the Gambia, and his keen desire to support the cause of football development and promotion by the current leadership under the reign of Lamin Kaba Bajo. The ceremony was chaired by General Secretary Lamin M. Jase. Reporting for Star TV, I am Omar Job.
The Minister of Agriculture, Ami Fabry, on Wednesday announced before the National Assembly members that her ministry has provided farming equipment to farmers in the country, while Maria Madam was at the National Assembly and she now reports.
The agriculture sector is the most important sector of the Gambian economy, contributing to 32% of the gross domestic product, providing employment and income for 80% of the population, and accounting for 70% of the country's foreign exchange earnings. It remains the prime sector to raise income levels for investments, to improve food security and reduce levels of poverty. In response to the rainy season by introducing new farming schemes, the Ministry of Agriculture has taken a step in providing farming equipment to farmers to make it easier for them. The Minister of Agriculture, Ami Fabry, highlighted the total equipment her ministry has given to the farmers within the regions in the country.
The equipment includes 50 units of power tillers and accessories, 10 units of irrigation water pumps of different size, 20 multi-purpose pressing machines, 100 tapolins, 80 rice dehallers, 50 coarse grain milling machines, 50 rice milling machines of different types. The aforementioned equipment and accessories were distributed to the following communities. North Bank region, 45 power tillers, 45, power tillers 10, rice dehallers 20, tapolin 2, coarse grain milling machine 13. Central River region North, 47, power tillers 9, rice dehallers 12, tapolin 14, coarse grain milling machine 4, multi-purpose tracers 5, pumping machine 3. Central River region South 56, power tillers 12, rice dehallers 14, tapolin 16, coarse grain milling machine 1, multi-purpose coarse grain tracers 10, pumping machine 3. Upper River region 30, power tillers 5, rice dehallers 6, tapolin 6, coarse grain milling machine 7, multi-purpose coarse grain tracers 5, pumping machine 1. Lower River region 28, power tillers 7, rice dehallers 8, tapolin 3, coarse grain milling machine 10. West Coast region 22, power tillers 3, rice dehallers 5, coarse grain milling machines 14. Cardiff municipality 6, power tillers 3, rice dehallers 2, coarse grain milling machine 1. There are remaining equipment and accessories to be distributed to the beneficiaries. Vice, power tiller 1, rice dehaller 63, tapolin 59, and the pumping machine.
However, Madam Fabry noted that the rehabilitation of the mixed farming centers across the country is in progress, as some centers are 90% done, including Pirangs. She further encouraged the farmers to make good use of the machines and assured them that her ministry is always working tirelessly and regularly proposing projects to meet the farmers' expectations. Maria Madam, reporting for Star TV News.
Jugai Farm, owned by a young Gambian residing in America, is expecting to expand large-scale in farming in order to reduce the importation of crops and create job opportunities for Gambian youth. Well, Omar Job tells us more on the story.
Agriculture forms a huge percentage of income in any developing country. GK is a Serekule word which means hope. GK Farm started operating about 7 months ago and has employed 4 youth. It hopes to increase number of employees soon. Speaking to Star TV, the farm manager, Odu Makpa, expressed that the CEO of the GK Farm answered to the call of the government in development, and as a Gambian, he invests in agriculture in order to support in food sustainability in the Gambia as well as creating job opportunities.
GK Farm is the proprietor is Mohammed Jawara. He's a young Gambian, based in the United States of America, and he has this passion on how to contribute his own quota to the development of his dear country, the Gambia. And answering the call of the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, for young Gambians and those in diaspora to come back home at least to start something to support the government in terms of unemployment and other social vies. So he tried on his own contribution, with the little that he has, he established GK Farm. GK Farm is a farm that is looking towards the sustainability of food sufficiency in the Gambia, also introducing nutritional values in our feeding pattern in the Gambia, also try to create employment, organize the local women and the youth of the Gambia.
Mr. Makba mentioned the species available in the farm, which include papaya, pineapple, plantains, among others, and their advantages.
What you see behind me, we have papaya is more visible. And this species is Red Royal. Red Royal is from Thailand. And Red Royal is a crop that is easily grown. It can sustain and withstand the harsh condition of the tropic. And also the nutritional value in papaya. People here don't really consider that. Papaya has a lot of medicinal input. Like when you look at even the leaf, we use the leaf for biological treatment methods. And the fruit itself has a lot of health protective means that people really need to consume. The nutritional value from papaya is not just to nourish your body, but it also have some medicinal aspect of it. So, and you also see what we have again in between intercropping is chili pepper. We have chili pepper. This variety, we call it Demon. It's also from Thailand. It has very high yield. You can harvest this for the next 8 months. You are still harvesting. And even if you want to extend it to 1 month, you can all you need to do is to prune it. It comes up again and it starts fruiting. So it's a very nice fruit and a crop that everybody can grow. You know what chili pepper is saying in the market today? Chili pepper is one of the most demanding spices that we have in the market today worldwide, not just in the Gambia.
He further urged government to support them in this, as their main aim is to provide sufficient crops to the people in the country. He stated that the reason why the farm ventured into such species of crop is due to the fact that most of them are important in the country.
That is the plan. We are planning not just to have a little vegetable crop for Gambian consumption, no, but how can we produce enough that we can even send out to get some foreign exchange. If you look at it, it's not just as you stated, it's unacceptable that Gambia will be importing carrot, importing cabbage, importing most of this little vegetable. It's not acceptable. Onions we import. The potatoes we import. What is wrong with our land? We can produce those things. We have the capacity, we have the resources to do it. But we only need some dedicated people that can go into the agricultural sector, and also the necessary support from the government and other agencies that are responsible in promoting things like this. So GK Farm is not looking at just feeding the Gambians, but our priority is to feed the country. Then the second stage is to earn some foreign exchange and take this thing out. When you take out, you get more land, you empower more people, you make more money to, service other sectors. That is the objectives.
Sanusi Toure oversees the farm, and he said the reason why they venture into agriculture most definitely into plantain and papaya cultivation.
Our plan is to have at least a papaya farm. We want to be the leading papaya farmer in this country because we realize that most Gambians cannot afford papayas. If you ask an average Gambian, when did you last eat papaya, he will tell you it's expensive. And we see no reason why people should be denied of such nutritional quality in their food. So our goal is to improve the nutritional and health quality of our people.
Mr. Ture further urged people to invest into agriculture as most people in the country concentrate on other things which involve politics, business, sport, among others, and he urges government to spare lands for agricultural purpose.
Our problem is we talk too much, we are too much into politics, we're only interested in sensational news, but what you bring into the public today is somebody who is trying to come up with something that would help secure our food, secure our environment. You know, we don't need to sell all this land. Tomorrow, what are we going to eat? People are just clearing the forest, going into other businesses. Let farm, because farming is the backbone of our economy, and we cannot neglect that. So my message to Gambians is like, let's come together and concentrate on farming, support each other.
Moreover, in a video interview with Mohamed Jawara, the CEO of GK Farm, who is currently in the United States of America, stated what motivated him to invest in agriculture.
My primary motivation for getting into agriculture is to be able to change perceptions about agriculture in the Gambia. That's my main objective. Of course, this is not a non-profit enterprise. It's a profit-based enterprise, but we want to be able to show people that the all concepts of what agriculture is about, which is primarily to just go to the bush, get whatever you want to get, bring it home, eat it, and then that's the end of the story. No, agriculture is an area that has a huge potential, and we want to be able to tap into that potential by helping create employment opportunities for people, by helping to alleviate poverty in the communities that we exist in, and by being able to help contribute towards the socioeconomic development of the country.
Jawara stressed that a lot of constraints are delaying their project, which include financial constraints. He is the main source of investment in the project. He also said that adequate energy supply is needed as they are into mechanized farming. He urges government to support the project for better social, economic, and agricultural development in the country.
We have a lot of constraints, as a startup. One of those constraints will be finance. Another constraint will be availability of energy. Another constraint will be, the difficult task of navigating the bureaucratic red tapes for whatever we want to do. So in terms of finance, for example, the Gambia doesn't have a development bank, at least that's my understanding. So it's extremely difficult to be able to raise funds for some of the projects that we want to embark on. So as a result of that, what happens is that almost everything that goes into running this enterprise comes from me. So finance is a huge area of constraint that we've been experiencing. Another thing obviously is energy. So the way we want to do agriculture is not the way that people have always done agriculture. We want to focus more on mechanized agriculture, and mechanized agriculture has to be able to be powered by some kind of energy. So having that availability of energy is extremely important. So that is a very difficult area as well for us.
For Star TV News, I am Omar Job.
The Minister of Energy and Petroleum has revealed to the National Assembly members that the Gambia, Angola and China company GAJ has paid slightly above 649,000 United States dollars to the Gambia government as loyalty since its issuance of Lansing in 2017. Jacqueline Colley has more.
This amount is more than 33 million Gambian dollars. The information came during the second ordinary session of the National Assembly in the 2020 legislative year. While responding to a question raised by the Majority Leader, Halifa Sallah, and member for Kombo South, Keba K. Barrow, about the total amount of money Gach paid to the government to extract black sand in Sanyang. In response, Minister Sanyang said, since the issuance of mining license, Gach paid a total of over $649,000 as royalty to the state for the shipment for almost 15,386.45 metric tons of heavy minerals concentrate. Halifa Sallah earlier questioned the minister to explain how much has been derived from the mining of materials of minerals at the original sites of Katong, Batokunku, and Sanyang by the investors in particular, and the state in 2019. He further asked for an explanation on what had been done with the funds accurate. Responding to this question, Energy Minister Sanyang said that Sanyang is the only site being mined as of 2019, and that mining is yet to take place in Katong and Batakunku. He went on and said, yet income derived from the shipment of 4,617.85 metric tons of heavy minerals concentrate stands at $328,280. In line with licensing conditions, the royalty of 1,993.93 was paid to the state by Gach, which represents 60% of the net income. The state royalty is lodged in an account with the Central Bank under the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs. Alhaji S. Dabo of Brikama North quizzed the minister to inform the assembly what is holding the commencement of mining in the two aforementioned sites. In his response, Energy Minister Sanyang said that mining is done sequentially, saying if the first site is not exhausted, the miners cannot abandon that site and go to the other. Daura Kaususane Jawara of Upper Fuladu asked the minister to inform that the mechanism put in place to ensure that the miners exhaust the areas of mining, the land could be reusable for agricultural purpose. Minister Sanyang said that they have done an environmental assessment at the beginning and that there are a lot of plans to rehabilitate the sites. He further said before the end of the mining, the area would be mapped and planned for its rehabilitation. Suleiman Saho of Central Badibu asked the minister to inform the assembly where the funds generated from the mining do benefit the communities in question. In response, the minister said that some of the benefits the communities generate from the mining activities include employment and social corporate responsibility, where the company plows back to the communities by initiating certain projects to the communities. Laminje Sane of Brikama South asked the minister how sure is that the communities are benefiting from the social corporate responsibility he talked about. The minister said that most of the time, the community will make demand requesting assistance on an area and then the company will help. He added that it is within the general principle that the company provides assistance to communities around the mining sites. Minister Sanyang was further asked to inform the members how much money is being spent as social corporate responsibility to the communities of Sanyang from the amount generated by the government. He told the members that he doesn't have that data. However, he said the money the company makes and the royalty paid to the government are not part of the social corporate responsibility. Kebake Barrow, the majority leader, urged the minister to revisit the Memorandum of Understanding to ensure that the community benefits from the activities miners are embarking in within their communities. Swaibu Ture of Woolly West asked whether the government provides royalty to the community since the company does not. The minister responded in the negative. He then further asked about the rehabilitation of sites. Minister Sanyang said that rehabilitation is at the expense of the company. But if the company fails, he went on, the government will take over the burden to rehabilitate the mine areas. He, however, noted that social corporate responsibility is between the company and the affected community. Currently, the minister said there is no clear-cut policy to address the issue of social corporate responsibility between the company and communities. However, the minister said there are plans to develop a policy that will provide guidelines on social corporate responsibilities. Jacqueline Coley, reporting for Star TV News.
In a press release sent to Star TV, the OIC Gambia Secretariat and the Ministry of Transport and Works on Wednesday inaugurated an interim body charged with temporarily managing and operating the newly commissioned Sandaura Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center in Bijilo. The event was chaired by the Minister of Transportation and Works, Honorable Bai Lamin Job, at his office in Kanifing. Honorable Job said that the government has resolved to ultimately run the International Conference Center as a business enterprise through a joint venture between the government and the private sector, while highlighting that the government does not have the capacity to efficiently manage the gigantic edifice. The minister revealed that a parallel process involving the Ministry of Finance has started to acquire the service of a full-time permanent operations and management firm to run the center. Until then, the newly inaugurated temporary committee will assume responsibility for the building, including opening it up for public use as soon as possible. The Chief Executive Officer of the OIC Gambia, Mr. Yankuba Diba, welcomed the setting up of the committee and expressed the support of his organization to facilitate its work smoothly. Additionally, he re-echoed and supports the government's decision to eventually hand over the management and operations of the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center to a public or private management firm while the release ends. Well, we'll now go for a short commercial break. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Jambando ñini bari ñinay fele do ku bala de inu mbara ni su ko do buga ñamoti awum to jalti kay ndungi be do ku bala janko mbe do ku walal de bar fenkil nañ jaxal jang nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi jabu ka bete nga fem fi ko jaxal dafa malo mbekel ñaati de ne jambando soto angare ñing ne o soto yake jang ila soto fengo fam be yiru wara je jambando ha woto alhamdulillah sa jambando mo soto la ñaadi le sani moli abula kata fan kata depo nyinto hani ni futata je depo to sani buka wafi de ka kodo ta mobulu ka boto dila wo bo sani wo botale sani mimbe kering wolem nyinto ko reliance ibita wolto ye kodo jo ne kodo jo reliance e ka risitol dira ba risito nyi ngaku matal de wo risito nyi ni adila e ka wole samba depo nyinto ne risito di yela jambando soto comme ngi yek mo fu nyami ngamoyle nim fana bodo jam ko denke mbira jambando sanna GGC wole Gambia Groundnut Corporation wolle be mararen ñing jambando la kola ando ila ñin jang ngalo ne ñin jambando ni yake jang e fam ba fa la ñela tumondo bar be jambando ko yele fana nga jibe nim bodo ya mbita wolto mbita sekro direct ñin tara je rek be jambando sanna oto mbaadiŋol ñewode ñul naatata kana mol dahandi GGC ka jambando data la mole fo dalasi ceme worwula he ñomo alten to baldi mbati woto nimboru bayta ngata na jambando la ko do jo woto jang san mbe wutule ngata fo reliance nganna jambando la ko do joje to ngana risito ta ngata depo walla ngaji be CPMS katu ñundu la fulol de min suriyata na rek nin tara nga joje benna jambando sotla al nimbara bak ala baraka. Hey, alhamdulillah. Nyomo alatan Dubai. Moro nyina metu abdena no sanal.
Welcome back after the short commercial break, and we now look at the news beyond our borders. Coronavirus cases continue to rise in the United States as businesses reopen and people flout medical advice on wearing masks and social distancing. The country has reported more than 117,000 COVID-19 deaths, the highest fatality rate in the world by far. Al Jazeera's Rob Reynolds reports from Los Angeles.
Social distancing and mask wearing are being ignored by many Americans with predictable results. More than 20,000 are testing positive per day, with large spikes in several states, including Arizona, Texas, Florida, and Oklahoma, where President Donald Trump plans to hold a mass campaign rally on Saturday. Florida now has more than 82,000 cases, a 17% jump in just the last week. They include a group of 16 friends in Jacksonville who took advantage of the state's decision to reopen bars to have a night out. All have since tested positive, and the bar is closed again.
I was one of those people like, come on, it's not that serious, and I got it.
More than 3,000 people in Florida have died from the virus. Hospitals are filling up.
We know already that social distancing and wearing of masks helps to prevent this disease, and we're not seeing that right now.
Weeks of protests over police brutality and systemic racism may have led to more infections. In Massachusetts, the governor ordered new pop-up test sites for demonstrators. In Arizona, cases are surging with record-high numbers reported. The state's Republican governor threw open businesses, bars, and other public places in mid-May. In Nevada, the Democratic governor has opted for safety, halting the state's next phase of reopening.
Now is not the time to abandon these protective measures. It is a time to double down on them. We can only stay open if we stay safe.
Pleas for caution, often going unheeded. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera.
The Chinese capital of Beijing has raised its alert level after 137 people test positive in a new outbreak of the novel coronavirus. Hundreds of flights have been cancelled and schools and universities shut, while Al Jazeera's Priyanka Gupta reports.
Most flights in and out of Beijing are cancelled, but these travelers are trying to leave while they can. The Chinese capital is in the middle of its most serious outbreak of coronavirus since February.
I'm leaving now because the outbreak is a bit serious and I'm afraid of being infected, so I want to escape back to home soon.
On Wednesday, the government raised its emergency response level to tackle the spread of new infections linked to Beijing's largest wholesale food market. Schools and universities have been shut, and people have been urged not to leave the city. Infections in 4 other provinces have already been linked to the outbreak in Beijing. In some areas, quarantine measures are being introduced for those coming from the capital.
All kinds of medical and health institutions, schools, institutions for the elderly, subway, and public transport have been raised to a higher level in terms of epidemic prevention and control, and measures will be fully implemented to prevent key personnel from leaving Beijing. We will resolutely curb the spread of the virus in and outside the city.
Health workers have been dispatched from across the city to Beijing's Ditan Hospital, designated as a COVID-19 treatment center.
The 100 transferred medical staff consists of 24 doctors, 62 nurses, 8 people from a clinical laboratory and 6 from radiology. To enhance the treatment capacity of severe cases, Jiang Li, a doctor who played an important role in the expert group for treating critical patients in Wuhan, also joined the treatment team for severe cases in Ditan Hospital.
The government is urgently testing hundreds of thousands of people and has put a number of residential compounds under complete lockdown. Food markets and restaurants in a city of 20 million people are being disinfected. Officials seem determined not to let Beijing turn into another Wuhan, even as health experts warn the virus detected in these new cases seems more contagious. Priyanka Gupta, Al Jazeera.
North Korea is warning it will redeploy troops near the border and resume military exercises, but Seoul says it will no longer tolerate Pyongyang's unreasonable behavior. Al Jazeera's Mike Wright reports from Paju on the South Korean side of the border.
Making its message clear and unequivocal, the destruction of the Joint Liaison Office has been widely broadcast by North Korean state-run media, accompanied by warnings that it will increase its military presence along the border separating the two Koreas. Guard posts that had been removed to de-escalate tensions will now be restored, while military exercises on the northern side of the border will be resumed, bringing this unusually strong response from the south.
Such moves thwart the efforts and achievements made by the two Koreas to maintain peace, and the North will surely pay if these measures are put into action.
The North has blamed the South for allowing defectors to release propaganda balloons into its territory. But North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is also frustrated at his failure to get more concessions in summits with the South Korean President Moon Jae-in and with US President Donald Trump. The North, seeming to conclude the current path of diplomacy, has run its course.
Trump is just not that interested anymore, and Moon is very constrained by sanctions. I mean, that's why this thing has sort of been frozen for a year and a half. I'm just not sure that much can change in the next 6 months or 8 months.
At Paju, on the southern side of the border, relatives of people abducted during the Korean War hold a simple ceremony. Many events are being staged with the coming 70th anniversary of the start of the conflict. Lee Sang-il was a baby when his father was abducted to the north. For him and others still living with the war's consequences, this latest attempt at reconciliation has achieved little.
Kim Jong-un wouldn't recognize this issue even exists, and the South Korean administration couldn't put the issue on the table during the summit in any case.
This section of the border is where rail and road links were meant to be connected if the current initiative had been a success. It was planned that Paju would become one of the main crossing points between North and South in what would be a new era of peaceful coexistence on the peninsula. They are hopes that for the time being at least seem dashed once more. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Paju, South Korea.
Well, before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. Former Gambia football veterans on Wednesday paid a courtesy visit to the president of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Kababajo, at the GFF Secretariat in Kanifing. The Minister of Agriculture, Ami Fabre, on Wednesday announced before the National Assembly members that her ministry has provided farming equipment to farmers in the country. Jugai Farm, owned by a young Gambian residing in America, is expecting to expand large-scale in farming in order to reduce the importation of crops and create job opportunities for Gambian youth. The Minister of Energy and Petroleum has revealed to the National Assembly members that the Gambia, Angola and China company GAJ has paid slightly above 649,000 United States dollars to the Gambia government as loyalty since its issuance of lancing in 2017. The OIC Gambia Secretariat and Ministry of Transport and Works on Wednesday inaugurated an interim body charged with temporarily managing and operating the newly commissioned Sir Dawda Kairaba International Conference Center in Bijilo. Coronavirus cases continue to rise in the United States as businesses reopen and people flout medical advice on wearing masks and social distancing. The Chinese capital of Beijing has raised its alert level after 137 people tested positive in a new outbreak of the novel coronavirus. North Korea is warning it will redeploy troops near the border and resume military exercise, but Seoul says it will no longer tolerate Pyongyang's unreasonable behavior. Well, that's all for this edition of the news. Please do enjoy the rest of our programs and join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful night. Bye.